Hello students, this is Mr. Giomini. Wanted to take a look at a problem that we worked on Monday in class, I know this is part of the homework, and just from talking with some of the kids in my homeroom, I don't necessarily know if you guys had a complete understanding of how to create a tree diagram for one of the problems we did in class today with pulling the Unifix cubes from the bag. So let's say I had, and I think this was game 3, where you had three of the same color, so I'll call them R1 for red 1, R2 for red 2, and R3 for red 3, and then a blue. And if you recall, we placed them into a bag, and you won the game if you pulled out two colors at one at a time. So there's a red, there's a red. So I won if I pulled one cube out, and then the second cube I pulled out matched that same color. Well, for homework, you then had to create a tree diagram to show all the different possible outcomes for such situation. Now, if I take a look, I obviously have, and let me go back to my bag here. Let me pull all four out. Come on. There we go, and there's one more in there, so there we go. So obviously there's four possible outcomes. I can get red 1, I could get red 2, I can get red 3, and I can get the blue. Now, because I have four possible choices, obviously each one is 1/4 as likely to be selected. Okay. Now, once I have selected the red 1, and I'm going to put this over here, once I've selected that, the only three left in the bag are either red 2, red 3, or the blue. So I'm going to break three branches off of red 1. So I can either get red 2, red 3, or the blue. Okay. Now, if I picked red 2 first, obviously the remaining choices are three of them. I can get red 1, red 3, or the blue. Okay. If I were to pick red 3 first, which again, it doesn't really, they're all red. I'm just, for this point, for this example, I'm just going to label them red 1, red 2, red 3. I could get red 1 second, red 2 third, or I could still get the blue. And then finally, obviously I picked the blue first. I have the possibility of getting red 1, red 2, or red 3. Now, if you recall, the directions say you were a winner if you picked a cube and it was one color, and if the next cube you picked out without replacing or putting back the cube you picked was the same color. So if I take a look, and I'll use a different color here, I'm going to find all the chances of me winning here. So if I get a red 1, I'm a winner if I get red 2 or red 3. If I pull red 2 first, I'm a winner then if I pull out red 1 after that or red 3. If I pulled out red 3 first, I'm a winner if I get red 1 or red 2. If I pull out a blue first, I am never going to win. So I don't even have to worry about that. Now, I got to figure out the probability that I win, or the chances that I will win. Okay, first, I need to figure out how many possible outcomes are there. Because I'm going possible over desired. Remember, my desire is to have two of the same color being selected in successive turns. So if I look at possible outcomes, I have 1/4 here, and then these are thirds. And again, what I always think about is if I want to figure out the number of possible outcomes, I can either just count the number of outcomes at the bottom, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, or I could also go, hey, 1/4 probability that each one of these would picked times the 1/3 of the following. That gives me 1/12. That 12 is how many possible outcomes are. So possible outcomes is 12. Now the desired, remember I want it to be 2 picks where each one is the same color in successive turns. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So the desired outcome is 6. Now, with fractions, ratios, things of that nature, I want to reduce. So I can divide both by 6. I get 1/2. Or if I want to change that to a percent, that is the same as 50%. Now the question becomes, is this game a fair game? Is this game fair or unfair? Remember, a game is unfair if you don't have the same probability of winning as you do losing. So I have a 50% chance of winning and I have a 50% chance of losing, which makes this game a fair game. Hope this helps you out. Take care.